What's up, world? We're back here for another episode of Chasing Birdies, and it is an off week, but we are on right now. What's shaking, my man?
Not too much. I'm so stoked. It's an off week, but we're on, and I love it, dude. I'm stoked for it because this doesn't happen very often. And you came up with this idea to have Noah Mullens on, the West Virginia State Amateur champion who just won last week, and a fellow Herd alum, which I love.
Right.
And we had him on, and it was awesome. So this episode also is brought to you by Lynx Brewing. So make sure you go check them out at lynxbrewing.com. I'm stoked because they just canned a whole new batch, 60 cases, a couple kegs. So we're gonna be kicking those back Sunday, dude. Sunday.
Man, I can't even. You know what's funny, dude? I've been taking these electrolyte hydration packets, and I really think they work. I mean, it's probably just a placebo effect, but I honestly think they work. So I figure I'll have maybe 2 or 3 of those, and then I'll start washing them down with Chasing Birdies Blonde Ale because the beer looks fresh, the weather looks great, and what else am I gonna do, right? We got live music, cold beer, and you.
This Sunday to Tuesday, the writers' retreat at Nemacolin. We got Jordan Reynolds, Grammy winner, Matt Stell, Colt Ford, Josh Miranda, George Burge, all the boys playing Monday night, a couple of them playing Sunday. We're going to be pegging it up. We're going to shoot some guns. We're going to drink some beers. We're going to string some guitars. It's going to be a dynamite weekend. And thank you again to Nemacolin, always supporting us. We come up with some stupid, crazy ideas that they always support us on. So it's awesome.
Hey, man, stupidity makes the world go around. And I'm living vicariously through Noah Mullens because, our guest today, State Am champ. It must feel good to win.
We're qualified for it.
Right? I mean, the thing about it is, man, I was able to limp in to the tournament, and I limped my ass right out of it too. So it all equals itself out in the end.
You got that right.
But you know what? But I played pretty good today. I shot 71 today. Far cry from the 92 at Royal County Downs. So we're trending in the right direction. And I tell you what, I can't wait to play with you. That sounds weird, but I mean golf.
Play golf with me.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting, dude. A bunch of friends coming up, some friends that don't necessarily hang out with us very often. They're coming. They got some rooms for Monday. We're gonna have a blast. So you'll see a lot of photos, videos, chirping, and all that. So it's going to be a dynamite weekend. And again, we want to also thank Holderness and Bourne. What they sent for everyone is incredible. Every person that's coming in to see us is getting a new polo from them, a new Sullivan quarter button down, and a new vest with the Nemacolin and Chasing Birdies logo. It's dynamite. I can't wait to give it to these people. It looks great, dude. I mean, you're gonna even look good. And
from a 7 to a 10, bud.
There you go. So enough chit chat. Let's go talk to a champion.
All right, my man. Let's roll this bad boy over to Noah Mullens, the West Virginia 2022 State Amateur Champion. All right, y'all. We're back here for another episode of Chasing Birdies, and today's guest, man, he did that recently. The crown winner of the West Virginia State Amateur, Noah Mullens, my man.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on here.
Hey, man, thanks for being a part of this.
And not to mention, he's a fellow Herd player, too, so we got a little something in common. Now, I never won a State Amateur, but I did play for the Thunder and Herd boys.
Yeah, let's go Herd. I'm a huge Marshall fan. Fan. Yeah, I've been going to every basketball and football game forever. So
yeah, you went to Cabell Midland, which a teammate of mine, Nathan Kinker, played at Cabell Midland growing up, and Kankersaurus, he's still kicking it, which is good to see.
Yeah.
But I got stories
Kinker.
about
He's
that
a member
kid.
of Cayenne, which is so cool.
I got stories about that kid. We can get into that another day. So let's talk a little bit before we get into your big State Amateur win, which is incredible. Again, congratulations. I mean,
thank you.
It's awesome. It just end to a good college career, right? And so for you, when you played at Cabell Midland, was golf your only sport, or did you dabble with some other things?
Well, so like growing up in like middle school, I was like a big soccer player. So I love soccer and basketball, and that's kind of what I did. I just played soccer and basketball. And then once I got to high school, golf and soccer was at the same time. So I kind of like had to make a choice what I wanted to do. And I was blessed to be a member at Guyan. So my dad would drop me off on his way to work at 7:30, and then pick me up on his way back at 6 o'clock when he left. So I just kind of fell in love with playing golf every day and going out there with. I had a really good group of guys my age that we played every day. We'd go play 18 holes, go to the pool, then go back and play 9 more holes. So I just enjoyed doing that. And I got to the point I was like, soccer, you can't play that for the rest of your life, but golf,
Right.
you can play that for the rest of your life. And I have so many friends at Guyan, and it just kind of, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, Guyan's a fun little track, man. I mean, obviously, I was there for 4 years, and that was our home course when we were there playing for the Thundering Herd. And
Yep.
for you, whenever it came to the recruiting process, I saw that you had a good finish, your state amateur, your senior year in high school. Where did you decide to play coming out of college? Did you think, all right, Marshall, that's the easy one for me. It's in my
Well,
blood.
Well, I've always wanted to play. I always wanted to play for Marshall. I mean, growing up there at Guyan and seeing all those Marshall golfers out there all the time, like I was like, you know what, I want to play for Marshall one day. But when I finished high school, I was like, I think it's best for me to like get out of Huntington and get out of Guyan. So I actually went to a Division II school for 2.5 years and then transferred back to Marshall. So I went to Southern Wesleyan down in. It was like right next to Clemson, South Carolina. So I was down there for 2.5 years, and then right before, or right in the middle of my junior year, I transferred back to Marshall. I kind of felt like my game was good enough that I would be able to compete and stuff at Marshall. So I
Yeah,
transferred
and
back
so
there.
did Matt Grobe approach you about that? Who is the head coach at Marshall? Did he approach you saying, "Hey, we'd love to have you back," or is that kind of something that you reach out to him? And because how does the
Well,
whole transfer portal work for a golfer?
so before I could even talk to him or do anything, I had to enter the transfer portal. So I went and told my coach, "Hey, I'm going to transfer right after our fall season ended." And I knew I was going to come back to Marshall. Like that's where I was going to
Mm-hmm.
go, whether I'd play golf there or not. Like I wanted to come back home and play for Marshall. I was going to see whatever I could do, like walk on or whatever, because that's where I wanted to be. That was my dream to play at Marshall. So once I entered the transfer portal, I talked to Coach Grobe, and he was really nice about getting me on there and met with him, and I was on the team by the first day of spring classes. So it was really cool.
It's honestly, dude, Huntington, West Virginia gets such a people don't realize how good of a little town that Huntington, West
They really
Virginia is,
don't. I
man.
mean, so many kids my age like leave Huntington and go somewhere else, and then they end up always coming back. I mean, you have everything here, like you really do. I mean, you don't understand how good it is here until you leave and you see like, oh my gosh, the grass really isn't greener on the other side for sure.
Yeah. So I have to tell you a funny story. We got a mutual friend, Ian Patrick Archer, which he
Yeah.
seems to be coming up on everything. But so when I was a freshman, our coach we had Fagans as our coach, Joe Fagans.
Yeah.
He said, boys, he said, I don't want you hanging out with that Ian Patrick Archer. He's nothing but bad news. So so Ian always took care of the golf team. I mean, when we were at Marshall from '04 to '08, he had Blackhawk Grill, he had Goodfellas, the bars. We'd show up, he'd have bottles waiting for us, and it was like we were the football players. You know, he loved the golf team.
Yeah.
So we're standing on one at Guyan, about to tee off for a qualifier, and we're all on the first tee. Fagan's stand there, and there's Ian on 18. What's up, boys? What's up? Let's get it tonight. Coach Fagan says, "Shut the fuck up, Ian. Go make a cheeseburger."
No way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard some stories about him whenever he was younger. They're pretty good. But
Oh, dude.
I love Ian. He's awesome. I mean, he's awesome.
The guy doesn't. I mean, we just talked about him on a last podcast, and he was on it. I mean, he doesn't age. He's a walking cartoon character. He's the absolute best.
Oh, he's awesome. I mean, I love him.
So let me ask you this: your sister, she was at Marshall as well, correct?
She's still at Marshall. She's got one
She's
more year left.
okay. So it's funny, Noah, because I feel like your dad's Todd, and I met your dad and you. It was probably 4 years ago in one of the maybe 4 or 5, but I feel
I
like we
think
were
we
paired
played the
up.
first 2 rounds at the Open together at Glade,
That might have been it.
and
That might have been it.
yeah,
But I always, and that was, obviously in your early collegiate days, or maybe you weren't even in college yet at that point, or you were close to it. But I always thought that, you had a great game. I mean, you carried yourself well on the course. You're mature for your age. You struck the ball well. And my point to that is this year in the state amateur, which you just won, you were behind me for the first 2 rounds.
yep,
And I was watching you, not on purpose or, just watching the groups behind you, kind of see people hitting it. And, I saw you the first couple of days hitting it really damn good.
yep.
And, I think you shot 68 day one, 67 day two. And after those 2 rounds, I'm like, man, this kid really has a chance to win. You were in great position to take it. Now, granted, you got the guys like Pat Carter, Sam Waddell, Clarkey. I mean, Cam Rome, Davey Jude. You got a little bit of heat coming from some of these guys as well. But when you get to that position, were you able to channel some of your past experiences to control the pressure and really be able to walk this thing in, or kind of what were you thinking after round two
Well,
of the state
the
am?
third round has always given me fits the last like few years because I've been up there the last few years like trying to win that tournament, and I've always just had like one bad round that just kind of like derailed me from winning. And honestly, still the third round, I was pretty nervous. Me and Bilby were tied for the lead, and
Yeah, yeah,
and
teammate.
and it was a really windy day out there at the Meadows course, and you know that. I mean, that course is tight. You got to hit a lot of good like golf shots out there. The greens are always really fast, and I really didn't play that good. I scraped it around to shoot 74 the third round, and then I went out and practiced for like 2 hours afterwards. I just like stayed on the old white putting green, just hit so many putts because I felt like my tempo was a little off. I feel like I get a little quick with my putting tempo whenever I like get nervous or something. So
Mm-hmm.
I just practiced for 2 hours, and I was like, you know what, I'm feeling really good going into the final round. And when I got out there, I was hitting balls, hitting some putts, and I've never felt like so calm and like I was just so focused on what I was trying to do. And I wasn't nervous all day long. I mean, I wasn't nervous.
Wow.
It was just like I was out there playing another round of golf, and that's attributed to Pat too. I played a lot of rounds of golf with Pat Carter, and having him right there to kind of calm me
Mm-hmm.
down a little bit. And he's a
He's a beauty.
dude. I mean, he really is an awesome dude.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we had Pat as an assistant when I was at Marshall, and just a perspective from his side is really interesting, right? I mean, the guy's won, what was it, 13 state amateurs or 11?
Yeah,
Either way, he's in the double digits. And just to get a perspective from somebody like that, like you're saying, you felt so comfortable in that round. That's what Bob Rotella, who we've had on here, he said that the champions feel comfortable when they're in that position.
yep,
They don't get nervous. They don't change their routine. They don't do this, that, or the other. They're comfortable within their own skin. And that final round, and you're thinking about the shot, each shot at a time, one shot at a time. That's the important thing. Not getting ahead, not imagining yourself pouring fireball into the trophy at guy in, right?
yeah.
And we'll get into that. But the night before, what'd you do? Did you drink to take some of the nerves off? Did you go to sleep? Because I'll tell you this much, boys, I play in a lot of member guests, and we just get hosed the night before, and that kind of takes off. It
Well,
puts you a little sleep a little early.
when it's tournament weeks, it's all focus. It's all business. I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to recover. I'm trying to drink Gatorade and just get hydrated because I mean the AM especially. I mean it's 4 round tournament. I don't play in any 4 round tournaments. I mean all our college events are 3 rounds, so it really is like a
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
marathon, and I just want my body to be ready to go, like so I can fully focus
Yeah, it makes sense.
and be ready to go.
And you walked. You walked.
Yeah.
I saw you walk. Now you had Lee Van Horn, who's a gem,
Yes.
What's the story? So Lee was your caddy in the state amateur, and what's the story behind Lee? Was he trying to qualify for the AM, and you caddied for him, or how did that work? How did
So,
that?
so last year we kind of partnered up. He lived in Lewisburg for the last 2 years and actually just moved back to Huntington, which is great. I'm so excited for him to be back.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he
Um,
said. That's awesome.
but yeah, we played golf together at Guyan all the time, and Lee. Lee's a great dude. I mean, he's just a
Yep,
20 out of 10 dude. He's awesome,
yep,
and
he is.
so he didn't play in any tournaments all year long, and he was like, you know what? No, I really want to play in this AM qualifier. Like, even if I qualify, I'm not going. I want to caddy for you because he said he had such a good time last year. But he's like, I just want to just play in a tournament, just see where my game's at. So I went and caddied for him during the AM qualifier, and we had a great time. He struggled a little bit, but that was his first competitive round in probably over a year and a half. So he just wanted to get out there and compete, and he was always going to caddy for me, even if he did qualify.
That's cool. You know, that's the thing. You said that right there, and Jonathan and I talk about this all the time, and he makes fun of me more than not because out of like me, Pep, and Brandon, I probably play in more competitive golf events than any of them. But I'm addicted to it.
Yeah,
It's the
Combined.
bottom line. You're gonna have to carry me off of a golf tournament at some point in my life because I'm not gonna stop. The point being is when you get into that competition, that competitive mode, the golf is different than when you go out and play around on a Saturday afternoon or a Thursday
yep,
evening. Totally
yep,
different. I mean, and you can do as much meditating as you'd like. You could do as much, trying to stay focused. But the reality is, every shot now
yeah.
counts.
You
Every
can't
shot. It is a.
recreate. You can't recreate a tournament round.
You can't.
You
There's
cannot.
no way. I mean, no amount of money you can play for, like nothing prepares you for playing a competitive round of golf.
And I tell you what, right now, I mean, I'm fighting a cut right now like no other. And I used to hit draws. But if I had to stand up on a tee box number one somewhere and play in a big time tournament, buddy, I'll tell you right now, I'd hook that thing all the way to Texas. I mean, that some bitch would be going so far left. It's just
Yeah,
different. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just different. So for you to kind of walk it in, get yourself right, win a tournament, it's impressive. I don't care on what level you're speaking
well,
of.
thank you.
It's impressive.
100%.
I will say that it's bullshit. You win, and then the Greenbrier Classic isn't there anymore
Oh
to
no.
get your
Well,
exemption. So
well, I need to get in touch with Greg Norman. I saw him out there. They might be having that
the
IB
live,
event, and man, I need to sneak into that event. As a,
I
well,
think you should.
that's a good. I was just gonna say. So maybe we reach out to Greg Norman, get you in the live event, and for 250K, Noah will play in the event.
I think I can turn pro there and get my paycheck and move on with life.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
So for you at the stadium, like you said, for people that are listening, the stadium in the state of West Virginia is always at the Greenbrier. I mean, I've been part of the state of West Virginia since 2004. When I started my golf career at Marshall, and since then, I mean, before then, it's always been at the Greenbrier. For you to go to such a special place, what is the win after your college career back at Marshall University? The state amateur win do for you?
I mean, that's just everything. I mean, the Greenbrier is such a special place. I mean, I love that place. I mean, that's my favorite event of year. I mean, we travel all over the place, play all these nice courses, and going to the Greenbrier and playing in your stadium. I mean, that's my favorite event of the year, and that's thanks to how good the courses are up there. Both superintendents are great for the Meadows and Old White, and the staff there at the Greenbrier are unbelievable. They're always willing to help. And then the WVGA does a great job. They really do to put on a really great event. And I'm really thankful for everyone at the WVGA. They always put on a great event and they make the players feel special. And having it at the Greenbrier is awesome. I mean, the Old White's probably the most historic course in West Virginia, and to host a state tournament there or state amateur is just really special. And to win at the Greenbrier, that's just even more. I mean, that's so cool. I mean, I've been smiling for
It's.
4 days.
I mean, look at your smile, bud.
I mean,
Yeah.
Smile a little bit. Why don't you?
I've been pretty happy the last few days.
Good. I mean, and for I mean, there's not very many college golf teams in the state of West Virginia, but with WVU now having a golf team, Sean's done a great job over there at WVU. Um, Grove's done an incredible job at Marshall. I mean, Marshall's in a little bit of a pocket to where you got Ohio State, you got Akron, you got all these schools around, and he's finding a way to get it done. Where do you see the Marshall program going forward? And you don't have any more eligibility, do you?
No, I just took my COVID year, so which was actually like kind of stressful to get it. We had to do a big waiver, and it took a couple months to even get a COVID year. So I didn't even know if I would get a fifth year of golf, which was good. But no, with Grove being the coach at Marshall, I mean the future's so bright. I mean you can't ask for a better guy to be the head golf coach at Marshall. I mean he's just a phenomenal person. He knows so much about golf, and it's actually he's established himself with recruiting in Columbus, Ohio. And if you look at our roster,
That's awesome.
there's a lot. We have tons of kids from Ohio. We have more kids from Ohio than West Virginia. And all those guys go back and tell their buddies, "Hey, like Marshall's great, Guyan's great, Coach Grove's great, and this is like a great place to be and to get better." So I see. I mean, Marshall's just going to keep getting better, especially with us being in Sun Belt now. Might bring some more kids to Marshall, and I'm really looking forward to watching the Marshall golf team. I'm actually helping out. I'm going to volunteer and help out this fall with the Marshall golf team.
That's awesome.
So,
I mean,
Yeah, that's
when
great.
I was at Marshall, honestly, our team, I mean, we had Christian Brand, Nathan Kinker, Chris Tipper, Phil DiLorenzo. I mean, we had a lot of West Virginia boys, and obviously Sean Warren was an incredible talent. And then Brandon Katzeff and I came. We represented the Western PA. I wouldn't say well, but we represented them. But 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 for you now with your college career done and you're going to help out the fall at Marshall, what's in the cards for you right
a
now?
great question. I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. I have a couple of job offers around Huntington that I'm pursuing, and but my dream's to play pro golf. Like that's always what I've wanted to do, and it kind of you're in a weird place, like because once you graduate, you're like, I mean, what do I do now? Your life.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't go play college golf. You don't go practice all day, every day if your goal is not to be on the PGA Tour. I mean, every kid like that. So I've had a hard time like trying to go like want to work and get a job because I mean, my whole life I've been pursuing golf and like now it's over.
Yeah.
So like, what are my goals now? Like, do I want to stay an amateur? Like, where are my new goals? So that's why like I'm stuck. But no, I playing pro golf is what I want to do, and I have some people out of Guyana that have told me they would back me if I decide to do that. So it's still a possibility if I want to do that.
And here's the thing, the advice I'm going to give you, all right? You're young, and if that's your dream, bud, you go chase it. And you don't want to go live your life and look back and say, "Shit, I should have turned pro and tried it." Hey, who's to say it might not work out? It may work out, but you never know unless you do it. And now's the time to do it while you're young, before you have a family, you have children, because don't worry, you'll be working then. So go chase your dream right now. I mean, you're on chasing birdies, and we're all chasing birdies in life, on and off the course. So I tell you, I say go do it, bud. And chasing birdies will represent you as well while you do it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's you said it, bud. I mean, if you got that gut hunch feeling, you got the game. What's dedicate 36 months. Give yourself a timeline and say, this is what I'm going to do for 3 years. 3 years is not going to kill you, and give it your all, and see how the cookie crumbles. But regardless, you did finish college. You do have a degree. What are you in finance?
Yeah, I got
business?
my undergrad in finance, and with the COVID year, I was able to start my MBA, and I have one more MBA class to finish, and I'll finish that this fall, and then I'll be good to go and done with school.
Well, congrats on that. But no, I mean, again, at the end of the day, now's probably the time for you to tackle that dream, or at least chase that dream, in terms of what we're saying.
I do have one question, if because I know I saw all over social media from one of our buddies. I mean, imagine he and Patrick posting videos. I mean, I saw Ryan missed a putt, and then I saw your group shortly after with you. You had a birdie putt that Ian Patrick Archer is filming everybody. He's got nothing else to do that day.
We didn't tee off till
But
2 o'clock.
I mean, but it's hilarious though. It is funny, but I did see the celebration afterwards. So I got to, well, like I said before, if you win, Ian wins. He's going to be
Oh
there
yeah,
partying with you. And it doesn't matter. Right? That's why he's the
oh yeah,
best. Ian Patrick Archer is
he
the
is.
best. What did it? Did you throw the trophy in the car? Shut the trunk and say, "Hey, we're heading to Guyane right now," or did it just kind of happen? What happened with that? The celebration.
So I mean, everything was just kind of like a whirlwind, and I had all my boys at Guyane, and they were following along all day. They played golf that morning, and they had the live scoring up on their phones, watching it while they were playing golf. And they all called me on my way back. They're like, "You better come to Guyane. Like, we are all here." And I show up at Guyane, and there's about probably 75 people there waiting on me, and it was
Oh
just
my
it
god.
was just a big old party. We had a good time.
Did you partake in anything or what, man? Tell us the drink of choice and the
Well,
trophy.
I didn't have a choice. I don't know if you guys know Mark Neufeld, but I was there for 45 seconds, not even. And I set the trophy down. I'm there, like, talking to everybody. Everybody's congratulating me. And Mark Neufeld pulls out a liter of Fireball and just dumps it in the trophy, which is just like, I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that thing was, everyone finished it off. It was finished.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
do you get to keep, like, how does it work? Because I've never won anything in my life. I always say, hey, next year, next year. But
But
anyways,
the Wendy's tour is
do
calling
you?
you.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, but seriously, do you get to keep the trophy, or
Yeah,
how's that
yeah, I get
work?
to keep the crystal trophy that they give you. I tried to take the Greenbrier trophy, but Slack was
Yeah,
like, "There's no way you're taking that. You're 23 years old. You are not having that thing." So, but I get to keep the crystal trophy, which is really cool.
yeah. No, that's man. I mean, 5 under. You shoot 5 under, win the tournament. Walk us through. So for y'all listening right now, Noah Mullens, West Virginia AM state champion, 5 under par. Walk us through what happens on number 17 at the Greenbrier on the old
So,
white.
hit a good drive there. That's a tough tee shot, especially under the pressure. Hit a really good tee shot.
Mm-hmm.
Had about 260 in on my second shot, and we were kind of in between going for it, like laying up to 100 yards because it was a front right pin. And Lee, my caddy's like, I would hit your 2 iron, just get it up there as close as you can. I don't know. It was a little downwind. I don't know if you can get it there. And I had an all right shot. I was about 30, 40 yards short of the green there. And I thought that Cam had made birdie on 16 because he hit it really close. And I was like, I have to make birdie here. Like, there's no, like, if I want a chance to win, I have to make birdie here. So Lee tells me right before I hit, like, Cam didn't make birdie, so there's no pressure here. He said, just get it as close as you can. Let's make a birdie and move on. And I hit it, hit the shot, and it two hopped and then rolled in the hole. And after that, I just remember getting in my car. It was just all a blur. It really was.
So you chipped in on
Yeah,
17 for Eagle, okay? And then what did that put you up,
I
one
was
or
up
two?
3 at that point.
Oh wow, that's all she wrote, boys.
But he made 18 birdies in the whole event and one eagle. I mean, when's the last time you made fucking 5 birdies?
So, I mean,
But don't talk to
I
me.
mean,
Me too.
it was crazy. I mean, putter was working, hitting it good. I actually hit all 18 greens the final round too.
No way.
So yeah,
That's the stat. See, that's the stat that a lot of people don't. They don't realize how hard that is to hit 18
I had
freaking
no clue.
greens. I mean, in the final round.
I'm just so focused, just like picking my spots. And someone came up to me like 20 minutes after. He's like, "No, you just hit all 18 greens." And I was like, I think it was Ryan Pritt, the reporter. He's like, "You hit all 18 greens," and I was like, that's crazy. I had no clue. So
Wow.
That's great, bud. You
Wow.
want to clean my clubs for me?
I got you. I've got some experience working a guy, and I think I can handle clean your clubs for sure.
No,
I've
I'm
never
talking
had the
about the guy
privilege.
that said, "Hey, you hit all 18 greens." That's hey, bud, you want to clean my clubs for me or what? But
What?
that whole old white man, it's so
Oh,
good. It's
it
tough
is tough.
though.
It's a really tough course. It's kind of wide open off the tee. You kind of hit it anywhere. But around the greens, that place gets tough. I mean, really.
I cannot agree more. Those greens. are so
Yes.
hard to read for me.
I saw that. I saw the one putt putt.
Yeah, that was awful. I'm kind of mad because I'm walking up there. I just chunked a freaking wedge, so I got to get up and down for 4. And Pizzle's in the back of 5 with his phone like this, and I'm like, all right, so he's gonna film my chip, which he did, and then I'm like, now he's gonna film my putt, which was downhill 8-footer, breaking hard to the right, and I thought it was a little quicker than it was, and I just tapped it. It went 4 feet, and naturally he gets it on video, and I'm like, I knew what's happening, whatever. And then we heard the chirps. A couple of our buddies are like, "Dude, would you just hit a bowling ball?" And I'm like, "Whatever, bud."
Well, but I'm playing, you're not. So,
But those greens, though, Noah. I mean, for you to kind of go out there, my opinion is that the Meadows greens, I feel, are a lot more. You can see the breaks a lot better. My opinion. But on the old white, dude, I'm like Stevie Wonder, man. It's like I got no clue.
And it's weird too. This year the Meadows course, those greens were way faster than the old white.
They were.
And like you said, like that putt, I watched David Jude hit the similar putt that you did. He left it short too. He left it like 2 feet short. And I mean, that putt on 5. I mean, I've played that. I've had that putt before, and most of the time you just touch it, and it might roll like all the way off the green.
Yeah.
If you don't hit it easy enough.
Because it's steep. But so what's in the bag? What'd you win with?
So I actually just put a new stealth driver in there. My other one cracked. So I got a TaylorMade stealth driver. Got an M5 3-wood, playing with a Titleist 3-iron. And then I love Mizuno irons. I played Mizuno irons my whole life. I'm a huge fan of Mizuno irons. So I got the Mizuno irons in the bag, the JPXs, and then Vokey wedges, and I just got the TaylorMade spider putter. So, and I actually just switched.
SM9s or SM8s?
I got 2 SM8s and an SM9.
So what's the SM9? Is it the 60?
That's a 58. That's the one I hold out with. So you got to get the SM9s.
All right, Arendelle. You hear that, bud? We got a SM9 hole out, Greenbrier, stadium goes up 3. There you go, bud. Send the guy a wedge.
Yeah, send me some wedges. I'd love that. But no, I actually just switched to a wrist lock putter grip probably about a month ago. I didn't putt that well in the spring for Marshall, and I kind of wanted to change something up. And this past month, I've been using a wrist lock and just been rolling it with it.
Wow.
So what is that? Is the putter longer then?
So whenever, usually with the arm lock, you got to get a de-lofted putter because you're like forward it so much. But with the wrist lock, it just goes to your wrist, so you don't need to de-loft your putter or anything. But you do have to. I think I extended my putter 1.5 inches just so.
That's not bad.
So
yeah, that's not bad at all.
But yeah, I really like the wrist lock.
I mean, it's incredible, man. I mean, I'm so happy for you being a Marshall guy, and I know a lot of Marshall players do win the stadium, but it's always good to see a newer Marshall player win and keep it rolling. I mean, I'm sure Pat Carter's been on your ass about Woodman of the World or joining his team over there.
Oh, of course, for sure.
He gets all the Marshall golfers.
He does. So. Yeah, I love Pat. Pat's a great guy. I mean, he really is. He's been a great mentor for me the past few years as well. Whenever I need help with anything short game related, I can text Pat, and his office is 5 minutes away from Guyan, and he'll be there in 30 minutes to help me out. So I've been really blessed with Pat and Steve Fox. Steve Fox just moved to North Carolina, and I actually played golf with Steve Fox like every day for 3 years before he moved. So having them two of the best amateur golfers in West Virginia right by my side. I mean, I've really learned from them, not only with just swing techniques, but just their mental games too. They're both freaks. They're both the most competitive people I've ever met, and every day when we tee it up, they're ready to beat me, for sure.
Yeah, no, dude, you said it. Steve Fox and Pat Carter, man, they are just legends. And that's so good for you to have in your corner. And obviously that little bit of grooming probably helped you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
100%.
For sure.
Well, listen, my man, we're going to roll this into the last segment here of the show called the Tap-In segment, brought to everybody by Bettinardi Golf. And Jonathan's just going to peel off 3 or 4 quick questions, demand your quick-witted response. Probably won't catch you off guard, but we'll see what he has.
All right, let's see it.
Favorite bar in Huntington, West Virginia?
Oh, you have to go with the Union. The Marshall golf team is there 4 times a week.
Herb's like Ian Patrick, a little older, a little more mature, but he always took care of the golf team. Same thing.
He did.
I mean, it's like Ian and Herb. I mean, boys, probably Herb golf team's gonna have sanctions against them because of those two. Favorite club in the bag?
The driver for sure. Love the driver.
Ripping it.
And your favorite college event that you've ever played in?
Probably the Mountaineer Intercollegiate up at Pete Dye. I love Pete Dye.
Oh.
And Sean Kovich does a great job with that event. And Pete Dye is such a special place. Like I've always told everybody, if there was one golf course I could play the rest of my life, it'd probably be Pete Dye. I mean, that is just a fantastic golf course, and to have a college event there, it's really special to me.
All right, and the last question: your dream foursome at Pete Dye Golf Club.
Ooh.
Can be anyone, dead or alive.
Ooh. Well, Ricky Fowler's my favorite golfer, so I have to go with him.
Yeah.
This is really tough. You got to go Tiger Woods, don't you? I mean, he's the greatest golfer to ever play. The 4th one. I'll probably go DJ. I love Dustin Johnson too. So
I gotta say, I'm shocked that you didn't throw in Bill Campbell, being from Guyane. Him right there, the stories he has playing the Masters. So he'll ride along.
He will. I've never met Mr. Campbell, but they have a really nice room in Guyane.
Oh, really?
Dedicated to him. And it was actually cool. They have like the Mr. Campbell's flag at the Greenbrier, and the trophy ceremony was right under the flag. So that was really special.
Awesome.
Wow.
That was really special.
Awesome.
That's badass.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, no, dude, congratulations again, man.
Thank you so much.
We can't thank you enough, and make sure you chase your dreams, dude. Honestly.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You're young, and go do it. Give it a shot. You never know what's around the corner. Life's short.
Yep.
So you'll start to learn that over the next few years. But go chase them.
Well, thank you guys so much, and thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate that. I love your guys' podcast. I always tune in.
Thanks, buddy.
So yeah, it was really
thanks,
when you texted me to be on here, I was pretty hyped. I was looking forward to it.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, no, we wanted to get you on, being a Marshall guy, being a state am champ, so we're happy to have you on. And like you said earlier, it's a great event they put on WVGA at the Greenbrier, phenomenal facilities. Brad and Slack and his whole crew, great people. And again, just congrats to you on the champ, and keep chasing.
Thank you so much.
All right, brother.
Man, to be able to win. I mean, to win a member guest is incredible. To win your flight's incredible. The feeling I get is excitement. I'm drinking out of a cool car. I'm doing this and that. My man Noah is drinking out of the State Amateur Crystal Trophy, and he tried to steal the actual Greenbrier Trophy, which I commend him on trying to do.
No, dude, and to be able to sit there on 17 at the Old White, for people out there who haven't played the Old White at the Greenbrier, number 17 is a monster par 5. Typically it's downwind, but the reality is there's bunkers everywhere. I don't care if you lay up or go for it, you got to hit a good shot. And, to have a little wedge in there, front right pin, and be able to cash it in for an eagle, you hit a good chip shot. You're under pressure whether you want to believe it or not, and you convert. So, good for him. I'm happy to see him win, and it's good for the state. And you guys have a lot in common. I mean, I feel left out. I've never been to Huntington in my life. I think we stopped there on one time driving through there. I got a hamburger at some
G.D. Ritzy's.
Yeah, that place.
Best fries, best hamburgers. I'll tell you who loves G.D. Ritzy's is Rachel Katza. My girl loves it, and it is a dynamite little spot to get a milkshake, some fries, shoestring fries, burger. I love that place in college, dude.
No wonder why Ian Patrick is always so happy. And he's living in Huntington.
There's 2 G.D. Ritzy's Huntington, West Virginia, and Evansville, Indiana. I've been to both.
No way.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
So
Fun fact about you is you have all hole-in-ones in the state of West Virginia.
All hole-in-ones in the state of West Virginia. I have 3 of them in the state of West Virginia, all with the 6 iron. Greenbrier, Guyan, and Pete Dye.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
I do want to say, we lost a mutual friend this week in Mark Bradley. The guy's a gem. Called you Big Sexy. 52 years old, Pete Dye member. Guy was dynamite, and so prayers out to his family and him. He's going to be missed like no other. The guy was a beauty. We always stayed in touch with him through his battle, and unfortunately he lost his battle, and it's tough, dude. It's tough. It's again another thing. Life is short. Enjoy it. Hang out with your friends. Go on trips. Enjoy your friends. Life's way too short to worry about the small shit. And Mark, we're gonna miss you, buddy.
Yeah, amen to that, man. God rest your soul. That's the truth. So now, we're here. We had this bonus episode today on Chasing Birdies. Typically, this is off week. We're working for you people right now, doing extra vocal warm-ups. And you got your first concert. This is your first concert since high school graduation. It is. I gotta get the fingers stretched out a little bit. It's gonna be a great time though. And Chasing Birdies is in full steam ahead mode, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but we got a lot of good things on the horizon. So as always, we appreciate the support. You want to tell the people who our next guest is?
Our next guest is going to be the newly acquired Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman, Hayden Fleury. And we'll chat with him about hockey, golf. Came to Ireland with the boys, had a good time, didn't have a suitcase, made out with some new gear. Everybody gave him stuff, Joyce's Jewelry, Chasing Birdies, Pete Dye, Linksel, all the boys gave him something. He had some new Holderness. He loved that Holderness crew neck that we gave him. And it'll be a good episode. The guy's a beauty. He blast, and I can't wait to tell you what I did to him in the hotel room. Sounds weird, but.
Yeah, that is. But that's awesome. Well, listen, bud, I feel like let's turn this bad boy over. Great episode with Noah. Looking ahead, I got Hayden Fleury, and we got the big party at the Peak. So we better catch up on some sleep. Hey guys, thanks again for listening. Thank you to Evo and Simpler Media for putting this thing together. Rachel and Jacqueline for all y'all's social media help. We appreciate it, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side.